Yeah, man, and I mean, it was just so crazy, that the way people think. I guess, and or maybe it's just me that's different. What I think, I mean, because I was 9 years old, and when I seen him and I realized that he had brought him for me, what I'm saying, it was like I bought him for you. Then the first thing in my mind wasn't to, eat no candies. It was to I'm finna sell these. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I set up shop. I'm signed up in my back window. My window was on the side where you park the cars at to my room. So it was a sidewalk right there. I put a sign up, Snickers, 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? My room at the back door. I started a candy store. It's plenty of people hunting for us. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, man, I'm gonna just shoot out some names. Some of my partner, Kenneth Miller. You know what I'm saying? That you staying hunting for us. Sweet Pea and Mookie them over there. Way back in the day. This here way back in the gap. We all old people now. So, but I opened up a little store, man, and everybody, shoot through there. You know what I'm saying? And I had the Snickers. So, boom, I dumped the case of Snickers, so you know what I'm saying, I slide up on the nigga. I be like, oh mama, that's a little boyfriend shit. I was like, say, man, y'all ain't got no more them candies up there. It's your job. He was like, man, they always throwing stuff. I was like, man, I down the little Snicker, man, it kind of, helped out. Nigga want to help. He wanted to try to get in. He want to be down. So I was like, kind of helped out. I downed him. I think I made him about $45. 1980, $45. So I tell him, man, just see if you can bring me a case a week or something. I don't want much. So what he started doing, he started accidentally busting cases of different shit open. You know what I'm saying? At work, and he started bringing me 2-3 cases a week. I was like, yeah, nigga, cool. Now, I'm kind of glad I did tell mama leave the nigga alone because he ain't know nothing about no hustling. I'm going to smarten him up. I ain't number 9. I think the nigga was 45 or something at the time. So, anyway, I opened up a candy store. My sign went from Snickers 25 cents to, the candy store. It's the candy store. I'm talking about I had everything. Like at the Chinese, I had the penny this 80 now, penny Jolly Ranchers and the little chocolate footballs and all candy. I had candy corn. When I started making money, I went and bought I went to Cisco, the same place he was peeling them for, and I got the big jars of pickles, dill pickles, and it's sodas at the farmer's market, little 25 cent soda. Man, I had a real live candy store going. I was 9 years old. So I said all that to say this here. I mean, marketing, hustling, it was just in my blood. And not to be saying when you say hustle, y'all always, kind of for illegal type thing. But just a person that like to grind and get money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say hustle. But sometimes when I say hustle, I'm talking about a dope boy. So, but just wanted to make a distinction. So when I stepped out the porch in 1983 and these resources was here to with this crack cocaine, I was right, man. I was ready, you know what I'm saying? I stepped out, I watched, you know what I'm saying? A lot of players, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the dope side, I can talk about the candy and name, but when on this side, a lot of the old school players, I just keep it at that. Man, they had it going on. I used to watch them, man. Watch how they did business, just pick up game, how they might ride here and throw something in the bush for later on. Nobody you just think niggas just littering, throwing some shit in the book, whatever. Come back, scoop it up, staying out of trouble, staying clean. All the little shit I picked up and players we came up in the game, man, and went through this and that, and then it changed a lot of things in the community, and some people may argue the fact that it was just, grind and the people being uplifted. But every economic growth has to be spurred by something that's abnormal. You know what I'm saying? So it's normal for people to as they learn and educate themselves and work, it's a normal ladder that your economics evolve in. But when you talking about explosive growth of the 80's, you know what I'm saying? You always hear people how they talk about the 80's was this and that because they was having money that they never had before. They was able to go to the movies. They had money to spend. They started moving, going around. People for the longest in the 70's lived and died in their neighborhoods, and then you talking about it, this new generation that was born in the late 60's and 70's, they started traveling, driving to Louisiana and up to Chicago. People started moving from Chicago to Mississippi, and it was that dope money. You know what I'm saying? It was the dope money that was changing. It was giving a bigger push than the normal to our economy, and then it changed, and it was damaging too, you know. But it never can anything be forced to change without some type of collateral damage. I mean, when a country is going bad or doing bad things to their people, or killing their people, and then somebody got to go in and try to help. It's gonna be some casualties on all sides when you try to push and press change, and that's what happened. And I'll be the first one to say, I mean, in 2017, you know, black people as a whole have gotten over that hump, that crack cocaine hump. I mean, and now, you know what I'm saying, it has evolved into. You got people, you know, striving to make billions. You know, you got people that's using philanthropy to change lives, and they look like me and you, and that's different, man. That's different, and it's been a long time for you to see, you know, that type of wealth accumulated in our accumulated with people that look like us, and then they able to reach out and help, you know. And it's so many and I mean, music has evolved. I mean, because you had Motown in the 70's, but they was just, if you pardon my French, they was just nigga rich, you know. I mean, there's some people that survived all that and came, because, you know, Barry Gordon wasn't giving them folks no money. He just like them Houston folks, man. With big love, yeah, I ain't gonna even go there. But yeah, that's how you get rich, by, you know, keeping your foot on folks' neck and all that. I mean, you want to pay your employees as little as possible, and that's what they did. But what I'm just saying, though, the evolution of hip hop, the evolution of crack cocaine, it changed things because, I mean, you know, these days, you know, rappers punch their own ticket. You got Jay-Z, Puff, you know, these people, Master P, these people on their way to being billionaires, if not already. I mean, super powerful folks. So, I mean, you know, just back then, it wasn't no real money. You know, they had Cadillacs and shit, you know what I'm saying? They had little houses. Y'all seen Ray Charles, you know what I'm saying? Little houses in Houston here and there. I mean, it was good. They was doing good. They was doing great. But for the work that they was putting in, the talent that they had, they wasn't wealthy. The people that was over them, the people at Sony and BMI, them the people that had the money. You know what I'm saying? They was just workers, like we had been all the time, and we evolved from that. But, you know, I was just saying that, man, a little history lesson, and it's just man, it's good to be over that hump, but it's gonna always be something, you know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be some kind of drugs, gonna always be some kind of new thing. But that was like I said, it was stitched into the fabric just as well as hip hop was, just as well as you know, the Temptations and Smokey Robinson and all that kind of stuff, that Al Green, you know, all that, and it was weaving in there so much that it's a part of us. I mean, you can't turn your back on it. I mean, our cousins, our uncles, and our brothers, you know what I'm saying, they struggle for years, decades, trying to come over this hump, you know what I'm saying? And for the most part, a lot of us have, and then, you know, it's still people there, you know, in the struggle. I mean, and that's the collateral damage. I mean, some people are live and die and never come over that hump, but, you know, for the most part, the majority, because I remember, man, it's 85, 86, riding through the streets of Acres Home, and, you know, Studi Woods, South Park, I'm talking about 3, 4 in the morning. It was unbelievable, like the Essence Festival. You had people walking down the street, I mean, it was a party in every hood. From, you know, as soon as the sun go down, like they said, the freaks come out at night. I mean, it was buck wild. I mean, everybody was on. You know what I'm saying? Either you was getting high or you was selling it, or selling it ain't getting high. I mean, it was saturated. From where I was at in H-Town, Houston, Texas, Third Coast, Acres Home. That's what it was, man. It was saturated. It was everywhere. I mean, you know, Lincoln City. I mean, wherever you could go to any corner store and set up shop and you was making some money. And that's how. And they ain't never ever been a product that in the history of anything that was that easy to sell, and that you didn't have to do no marketing. You didn't have to do nothing. All you had to do is dress a certain way and have $50 and willing to take that risk to get your feet wet. That's all. And you know, you dress like a hip hop, you know, like a hip hop guy, you know, and stand right there on the corner, and that 50 turned 100 and within a minutes. Re-up, the 100 turned to 200 within minutes. Some people went from having nothing to hustling up $50 to going to sleep with $1,000 in their pocket. And they ain't bought now commercial. They ain't did no direct marketing. They ain't did nothing. They ain't signed no endorsements with Serena. They ain't did none of that. They woke up that morning with nothing in their pocket. And went cut Miss Susie yard and Miss Jackson yard and put the money together and called Buddy and got them a 50 pack. And they flipped. 10:30 that night, they had $1,000 in their pocket. And the next day they had $2,000. It was never ever in the history of the world has a product been created to sell, have that type of demand where no matter how much supply you got, it was going to be sold. And not set on, but sold. If they sent 1 million keys over here and put them in a warehouse, they was making another 1 million to fill that warehouse up again, because the 1 million that was there was guaranteed to be sold because the product. And it was by design. It was put in our neighborhoods to ruin our neighborhood. But there was some fallbacks to that, because initially the users that supported it were descendants of the people that sent it into our neighborhoods. And see, that's where the problem came in, because now Governor Perry and all them, they nieces and nephews and the Bush's daughters and shit, they was coming down to the hood buying crack, you know what I'm saying, and they were pinching on their titties and shit and taking their money and you know what I'm saying, because they ain't had no business having their ass down there anyway smoking no dope. But that's what it was. And they came there, and then when them people seen it, they folks was skipping school, and the skin was getting bad skin. They was smoking that dope, teeth falling out there, and they started, man, we got to go down here. We just sent that dope down there to Egg Home. Now they selling it to our people. Shit, who these niggas think they is? So now we got a war on drugs. We just sit the dope in there. Now we got a war on drugs. We got to lock these niggas up, because I am not finna have Laura continue to smoke crack. You know what I'm talking about? So now it's a war on drugs. Now Ronald Reagan and Bush and all them, they signing bills and enactments. You know what I'm saying? They finna now, cause they really rather they daughter snorting coke than going over there to them niggas buying crack. So we gonna make crack 100 times worse than cocaine. Wow. 100 times worse. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's my daughter that's smoking, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And now at alarming rates, black men started being picked up for crack cocaine charges. And let me share another little thing with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't use a lot of my memory and shit off. But before, let's say 1987, is when they enhanced the crack cocaine charge. But before 1987, 83, 84, probably 85, you could get caught with as much crack cocaine as it was, and you would get a slap on the wrist because of the simple fact it hadn't taken hold. They felt like it hadn't taken hold to our community yet. So when you go in and catch a burglar and lock him up, you trying to rehabilitate him. You trying to stop him from stealing. So it wouldn't have been productive in 83, 84, 85 to come into our neighborhoods and lock us up for selling crack because it hadn't taken a hold, and it wasn't time to rehabilitate us or act like he was going to rehabilitate us. So in 83, 84, 85, you get pulled over and the police see a box of rocks, just caught on the police. Maybe you got weed, other thing. You might go to jail, but you going to get out with a slap on the wrist. And it's sometime where the police just take the dope and shit. You 13 years old, man, get your little ass to the house. Crush the dope in the middle of the street. Shit, I wish at that time I knew how to rewrite crumbs, because I scraped that shit up, put it right back on the street. I didn't, but I learned a little later. But that's how it was. They wasn't interested in rehabilitating us because they had a plan. So, I mean, and this was systematic. The people at the top, they sent the dope in, but did not give new initiatives to the police, local police force to fight the dope, because they didn't want them to fight the dope. They wanted it to take hold and ingrain itself into our communities, into the fabric of our culture. They wanted it to be all through us and ruin us from the inside out. But the thing was that the people that looked like them loved this drug a little more. And they had a little more money to spend at the beginning, at the onset of crack cocaine, 1983 in Houston. You know what I'm saying? It was only white people that could afford it. Yeah, it was only $10, $20, but the type of high it was, it took money because you had to repeatedly get high. That was the chase of the high. So it took a couple $100 when, you know, you had a black heroin fiends in Harlem and all that stuff. They had a $10 a day habit. Now you come out with a drug that you might spend $50, $60, $80 a day, you know, to satisfy your high. Yeah, in the beginning we couldn't afford this shit. So who we sold it to? They came looking for it. And we gave it to them. And, you know, as it went, their plan started to work. It started to get, you know, us addicted to, you know, but they didn't want to see their people because they knew what the drug was going to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to see their people, you know, smoking it and pulling a man barrel. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want that. But it was happening. So, and then once they start to try to stop it, now after you done turned away from them, now you try to stop it and you go to putting your foot on the wrong people's neck, then they prosecutors and DAs up there in New York and all that, Washington started getting killed, started getting missing because they didn't realize they didn't gave them motherfuckers enough money to finance small little wars. I mean, not a bunch of firepower, but enough that what police force wasn't used to. You see what I'm saying? So you got a motherfucker, 3 brothers somewhere in one of the boroughs making $1 million a week, and then you coming in, you talking about you finna stop it? But you've been looking the other way for the last 3 years. They been making $1 million a week. You know how many people they was feeding in the boroughs with $1 million? $1 million, how many people was eating? Do you understand the impact of that type of money? And not for no one person, because not no one person can sustain everything it takes to make $1 million in a week. So it was hundreds and hundreds of people involved in that, and the people that they supported was involved in that too, because they gained from those finances. So you know what I mean? People that touched, I'm talking about in one borough, it's that type of money spilled over into the other boroughs, and then other people emulated and start building machines like that. You know how much of a burst that is to the economy? Man. Crack cocaine. And I'm glad we over there. I'm really glad we over that hump because some people paid a lot, man. You know, my family, we paid a lot. I seen a lot of people, die, from drugs and overdoses or just it ruined their life, kept its foot on their neck their entire lives until there wasn't nothing else left. You know what I'm saying? I done seen people that locked up for life and they'll never get out for that drug. And Obama, man, he corrected a little bit, man. He helped a little bit because he know that they was wrong. He know it was systematic how that they put this into our societies, and then from the result of it, you took these men and you put them in prison for amounts sometimes less than $1,000 of crack cocaine for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, these people, somebody that was making $500 a week profit, maybe trying to feed his family, or maybe even $1,000 a month. This little guy, you probably been running errands, doing this here and this that, never really gained. You know what I'm saying? Because he may have a habit or whatever else, trying to do this and trying to scratch, the only way, and beat this high, this monkey that on his back, and then all of a sudden they come in and they get this guy with this small amount while he's trying to struggle, and then because he got in trouble a couple of times, here you give him the rest of his life for scratching together pennies, and Obama, he maybe almost 1,000 or so people, man. He righted the wrong that was done in the justice and the whole justice system as a whole. Because I seen a black judge the other day do a piece on an officer that beat an old 70-year-old black man, and him and his partners was fist bumping, wiping their blood off and all that kind of stuff, and sentenced to do whatever, 90 days or some kind of stuff. But the things that she said, and it's going on, and that's the type of systematic stuff that's been happening in our community for a long time. And then you used to be crying and tripping about it. You find ways around it. You find ways to build. You never let them beat you. You know what I'm saying? You keep on striving. I mean, that's all. I mean, that makes us stronger. Yeah, bring all that shit on. You know what I'm saying? You done locked me up 15 years. Shit, 2 years later, king back on his throne. I got a nice number in my head what it's worth. I mean, I ain't never been the one to cap, but you just keep fighting, man. And I just wanted to be an example. I thank God, man. I praise God for bringing me and my family through. So, and just and it's just a testimony. I'll never be one to boast or brag, but we on the other side of through, and as a people, I feel like we're on the other side of through. I like this new generation, the ones right now that's 10 to maybe 13, 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? I like them. I like them because what they doing. They dancing a lot. They coming up with things. They creative. Their music is creative. They ain't doing drugs. They ain't getting high. They ain't smoking cigarettes. They ain't interested in drinking. You know what I'm saying? This is new breed. And these are the people that's going to lead us in the next 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And man, I got my little daughter. She 12 years old, man. They super smart, man. You know what I'm saying? And they learning so much so fast. You know what I'm saying? They staying away from the bad stuff. And it's just it's like evolution, you know what I'm saying? And every time it's something, genes, some bad things that like that thing that caused us to fall into that trap and that rut, that addictive nature, that need for financial stability that brought us there. That it took a few generations for that gene to die, you know what I'm saying? And then you had a different generation. I guess they call them the millenniums. These cats, they ain't want no money, you know what I'm saying? So the ones right now that's 20 years old, the 25. So see, they ain't really motivated like we was motivated. When we was 20 to 25, you wasn't getting no money. You was starving. These 20, they call them millennium. They ain't worried about no bankroll. They ain't worried about no retirement. They ain't gonna spend no money. They gonna buy secondhand shoes and go to their mama's house and watch TV. They ain't tripping about having their own. But we needed that because it was evolution from the overly ambitious, this overly ambitious generation, and it was good because we got a bunch of nurses and doctors and lawyers out of them people. We got a bunch of Puffies and Jay-Z's out of them people, and well, she a little young, but we got. Yeah, you could throw in there too. H-Town, baby, Fofo. Beyonce too. You know what I'm saying? We got them kind of people out of that generation. And then you had the next generation that came on. Like I tell you, they ain't really tripping. They on something else. You know what I'm saying? They was gang banging and all that other stuff. Because it's hard to have some money and gang bang. Just put that out there because it's too many. You can't eat like that. You got to get some money first and then get everybody to feed folks. Can't try to eat 30 deep, but anyway, so that's what they was on in Houston. I'm only speaking for Houston, that generation, but through purifying and through the mistakes that we made and the people that died, people went to prison, you refining your culture. You know what I'm saying? You refining what you bringing up, and I think the product of our environment now at this age, I don't know what the younger kids gonna do because it's kind of hard to see what they're about. But these kids right now, they starting to come into their own, man, and they're gonna be the ones that really catapult us. It's time for another burst in the economy, and they're gonna be the ones that give it to us. You watch what I say, and because they smart, you know what I'm saying. They're gonna make money in different ways. They're gonna make money easier. They're not gonna have to go in and punch clocks and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna be a different breed, and I think it's good for us as a people. And I really like that age bracket. And man, and I just want to chop it up. Just chop it up. It's been a minute since we put something together, but and we still trying to push the diaries. You know what I'm saying, and get that story out, and it's all good. But yeah, y'all check us out whenever y'all got time. We be blogging, writing. I know a lot of us don't do no bunch of writing, but that's why I try to put a little bit in the video, because some people rather watch it than read it, And sometimes, man, reading can be real peaceful, and you learn a lot, even from stuff that's fiction, because you get to explore the mind of another person, intimate thoughts of another person, because a lot of stuff you write, whether it's a fake story or fiction or whatever else, it's still the mind of that person being revealed, and you might pick up something, learn something new. You know what I'm saying? Learn a technique that may work for you in your life that came from a character out of a book that you read, and you can't really get that in the movie, because that's not, the movie is to entertain you in a certain way, and there's some influences in movies, but when we go to the movie, when we look at a movie, we look at it different, not to really so much emulate the characters, but enjoy them. And in the book, it's just you and the book and your thoughts and reading, and so it's a little different because it's more personal. So it's easy to go into a book and find a character that you can relate to. And I've read so many books, so many different authors, from Scott Badacy to Dan Brown, John Follett, all kind of different and weird shit. Stephen King, but it shows you different things. I mean, places you'll never go to or even think to go to, but these books, these words, they describe them in detail. They put you right there in this little back road town in Mississippi or up somewhere in Maine and Delaware, places that you probably never go. It ain't even worth traveling now, but the experience you can get from the words that's created by people that's very good with putting words together, can be like a vacation itself, man. So, when you get a chance, pick up a book, man. Try to read something, man. Pick up the Diaries. This game, it's a good game. We got the Liquor Man. That's fun. A lot of characters, a lot of people that you can relate to, because most of the people in the Liquor Man, they are people that I experience life with. Some of the names have changed, some of them just been shuffled around, but it's people from elementary all the way through life, and I put them in different situations that I think that they could, survive in and would be comfortable in. So I mean, and it's a craft, and at the end of the day, it's the most important thing is sharing the story, but reading and having that personal type of entertainment between you and the book, man, it's special. And you educate yourself every time, no matter what it is that you're reading. You could be reading something about some leftist type or whatever, and you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn, even if it's just, you're gonna learn why they like they are. Even though you may think it's wrong, but you'll learn something. And man, when just the information that you have will always be useful, and you never know when. So, check it out, man. Peace and much love to everybody, man.